It's your favorite cousin, Donna, and you have stopped by for lesson number 13 of 40 life lessons I have learned by the age of 40. Yesterday's lesson was a fun one. Lesson 12 was if you look for something, you'll find it, good or bad. Today's lesson is number 13 because 13 is a pretty significant number in culture, and what I have to say is significance. I want you to remember it. I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me good. Lesson 13, loved ones, is depression is a real thing. Anxiety is a real thing. Mental illness is real. Maybe you know that, but maybe you were raised extra churchy like me, and you were taught that depression was a spirit and you just call upon the Holy Ghost, you pray, you cast it away. Imagine my surprise when I get out in the real world and start experiencing extreme sadness, and I find myself praying and going to church, and it's not passing. Instead, it's getting worse. Now, on top of the depression, I'm feeling guilt, shame, and confusion. I'm like, what's wrong with my faith? Why isn't this working? Or if that doesn't resonate, maybe you've heard this. Therapy is for crazy people. I don't need that. What I know for sure is that therapy is for people who want to be well in all areas of life. I would go so far as to say that therapy saved my life. Listen, friends, I'm telling you things I haven't told anybody because the point of this is to be vulnerable. I have lived in Los Angeles twice. The first time was 2012 to 2014. I moved here. I had one friend from college. I was going through a breakup, and I just found myself having a very hard time. There were days where it took all the energy I had just to brush my teeth. There were many days I only got out of bed because I needed to feed my cat. Literally, she kept me hanging around. There were days where if I could get out of bed and I could drag myself to the bathroom to take a shower and I could find the energy to put on clothes and then I could find the will to go outside to go to work, I would get so far as to put my key in the ignition and then I would just sob. I would just sit in the driver's seat and cry. Somebody say, I can't. No, I literally could not. I could not. I could not nothing. I could not. I got to a place where I was scared for myself and I did not know what to do. And the only thing I could think of was to call my pastor in Detroit. Her name is Sister Mary Elizabeth Pruitt. And I called Sister Pruitt. And thank God she did not say, you must not be praying right. She did not say, cast that spirit out. No, Sister Pruitt held the phone while I cried. I boohoo cried in her ear. And she, to my great surprise, began to tell me her experience supporting her daughter who had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She said, can you imagine how bad people talked about me? She the pastor of the church and her daughter crazy. What kind of church is that? They ain't got no faith over. They ain't got no Jesus in that church. She said, people talked about me bad. And she said, but my daughter's well-being was more important than what anybody had to say. And so her daughter was on medication and her daughter was institutionalized. And she stood by her side. And she told me, Tria, God gives doctors wisdom to help people. She said, it's okay to get help. Friends, in that moment, that woman of God set me free. She literally, it was like she gave me permission because I thought I was being a bad Christian. I wouldn't have gotten help if she hadn't given me that permission, if you will. And so I want to extend the same to you. I want you to know depression is real, anxiety is real, mental illness is real, and it is okay. As a matter of fact, no, it's important. It's your duty to get the help you need. You don't have to carry it alone. You don't have to go through what you're going through by yourself, and you're not the only one, friends. I'm here with you. I'm in it with you. And even if you have to pay out of pocket, I pray you don't. I pray you find free resources. For me, a friend, Kamaria, thank you, girl. She told me about a program called Loveland. And I signed up for this program. They had a waiting list, but I waited. And I was able to get vouchers for 12 completely free therapy sessions. Yes, I got 3 months of therapy for free because of this program. And this is for Black women and Loveland. I'll put it down in the link so you can go and look for it. I am so grateful for resources like this. But when that program ended, I'm now paying out of pocket because it's just that important to me. Nothing's more valuable than my well being. So if I got to skip a couple coffees to get some therapy, my priorities are in order and I'm going to do that. And I pray the same for you, friends. So today's lesson, don't let nobody tell you you're crazy. Depression is real. I see you. I'm praying for you. I love you. I'm in it with you. And I pray that you'll continue to stay with me on this journey as I share 40 life lessons that I have learned by the age of 40. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.